Nyajong, everyone. My name is David Lee, and I'll be your teacher for learning Hmong as a foreign language using the Nyiakeng Puachue script. We will be going over the Nyiakeng, which are the consonants. So let's get it started. Kak, right? And that's how you pronounce that. And that's how you'll pronounce that consonant. Ka, kak. Now let's move on to the next one. So the next one, number 25, the consonant is pronounced ya, yah. Ya, yah. Now, you'll hear that the open syllable and the closed syllable is very similar. There's not really a strong closed syllable, but there is still a closed syllable sound, okay? So for the open syllable, the sound should come from the sides of your tongue, not the tip, the sides of your tongue that is towards the roof of the mouth, and it's an open mouth. So you hear this in the word yes, right? Yan, you, yard. And that should be pretty straightforward in English as well. So for the closed syllable, it should be ya. Now, it's not a strong closed syllable sound, but there is still a closed syllable sound. And it's produced in the same area, but on a closing motion, right? So the closing phonetic you'll hear in the letter Y in these words right here, okay? Like yay, jay, cry, try, or bye, right? And so that's how you'll pronounce the closed phonetic for ya, 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 ya. So on to number 26. This one is pronounced nga, ngag, nga, ngag. Now this consonant is just very similar to the two consonants right before this, which is number 24, ka. But with this one is a nasal sound with the throat or guttural sound with an open mouth, no jaw movement, right? So that nasal sound, and you just add it to that ka sound that we just learned before, and you'll get that sound. Nga, nga, nga. That's how you get the open syllable for that. Now for the closed syllable is ngag, ngag. And you'll hear that nasal sound I just produced, and then followed by the guttural throat sound, no jaw movement. Now again, there's no English equivalent word here, but like I stated, it's more like a Hebrew, Arabic, and a bit of French sound with a guttural sound there. And I put it on the asterisk down below. This one is a pre-nasalized voiceless ovular plosive sound, right? And so that's how the IPA definition would define it as, and that's how you produce that sound. So with that being said, that's how you pronounce nga, ngag, nga, ngag. Now on to the next one, number 27. This consonant is pronounced ba, pup, ba, pup. This one does not, it's a P sound, but it does not have a strong aspirated sound like you hear in English, like Peter or like say Peter Parker, right? But it's more like a softer P sound, like the word hippo, apple, open, copy, or diaper, right? So it's not as strong of a P sound as the one in English, but it's a softer one, and the sound should be produced from the lips. And that's how you pronounce the open syllable, open phonetic, right? So for the closed phonetic, closed syllable, it'll be pap, pap, right? So the initial onset doesn't have an aspirated, breathy puff sound, but as you are closing, you'll hear more like a breathier sound, right? You'll hear like in the word step, lamp, soup, stop, or trap, right? And that's how you pronounce the closed phonetic for ba, bap, ba, bap. Now on to number 28. This consonant is pronounced sha, shaj, sha, shaj. This one is a bit difficult only because it has an aspirated breathy sound mixed in with the word ya, or the consonant ya on number 25, right? So it'll be ya with the aspirated sound. So it'll go like hya, hya, with the ha and the ha and the ya, right? So you put the H, the breathy H with the like the word yes, or breathy H with yawn, breathy H with you. So it'll be yes or hyan or hue, right? So that's how you'll pronounce the hya open syllable. Now with the closed syllable, it will be an aspirated breathy sound mixed with ya. So it'll be hyaj, hyaj. Again, there's no English equivalent to this sound, so you just kind of have to memorize how this sound and how it's pronounced, okay? So it would be hyaj, hyaj, with more like a closing G sound, okay? And that's how you pronounce the consonant hya, hyaj, hya, hyaj. Now let's move on to the next one. So number 25, this consonant is pronounced mba, mbab, mba, mbab. Now this one is a simpler sound, which is pretty much the nasalized, let's say the nasalized version of number 27, ba, right? But instead of a P sound, it's more like a B sound. And it has a nasal sound. So it'll be mba, right? There should be a nasal sound, and then from the lips, mba, like ball, right? Now I put the letter M here, which is like for but it's the nasal sound. Mball, mbi, mberry, right? So it'll be mba. And that's how you pronounce the open syllable. Now for the closed syllable, it'll be mbab, mbab. So it has that nasal sound as well, and it has the same closing B sound, just like number 27, ba, but bab, but it'll be mbab, more of a B sound. You'll hear this in the word like bob, proverb, scrub, job. And that's how you pronounce mba, mbab, mba, mbab. Now, number 30, this consonant is pronounced ngla, nglag, ngla, nglag. Now, you'll hear that this sound, it has a nasal sound with a g and a l sound. So it's a nasal plus a g and a l all together. So it'll be three, let's say, of those consonant sounds all mashed into one. So it'll be ngla, 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 right? So it should be produced from the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth to the open mouth, right? You'll see this in the word like the letter N with the word glare, glare, gloat, glee, glue, right? And so that's how you pronounce the open phonetic for ngla. Now for the closed phonetic, it'll be glug, glug. So it'll be the nasal sound with the g and the l sound, but it'll also end with a gug sound, right? Glug, glug. And you'll see in the word like the closest one is glug or glug, the word glug, right? And those are the closest phonetic words that I find that you could produce the closing sound, closing phonetic for ngla, glug, ngla, glug. Now on to number 31. This consonant is pronounced mbla, mbla, right? Mbla, mblab, mbla, mblab. Now this one is just a nasalized version of number 29, but with an L sound as well, right? So it'll be mbala, mbala. So three sounds put together in one really fast, right? It'll be the nasal sound with the word blah and lips together with the open mouth, right? So you'll see in the word like blair or blood or black or blue or blind, right? And that's how you pronounce the open phonetic sound for blah. Now for the closed syllable, you'll hear this is how it's pronounced: blub, blub, right? It's the same as number 29, but with the nasal sound and the ba sound and the la sound all together. And it comes from the same area where it's produced on the open syllable as well. So it'll be like the word blub or club, right? So those are like the closest sounding words to help you pronounce blah and blub, blah and blub. Now number 32, which this one is actually very, very different from a lot of the other consonants. And this one is pronounced ah, 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 ah. So it's not pronounced like the word or the word, it's not pronounced like ah, right? So ah has a glottal stop. Like you can feel the vocal cords closing. Ah, right? It opens up, right? Ah, ah, right? This one does not have a glottal stop, and it's not aspirated breathy vowel sound as well. But it can be like a W sound, like a wah, right? Like a wah sound. So but this is more of an emphasis on the non-glottal stop sound. So it's not ah, it's more like ah, right? Like you'll see in the word like a wow or ee, right? Or the word like would or we, right? So it's like that, and you'll mix it with, if you mix it with different vowels, it'll like be ah, ee, woo, oh, ow, diphthongs, ow, why, yeah, right? So it's like it's a very special, very different consonant because it's a non-glottal stop sound or non-glottal stop consonant, okay? And that's how you pronounce in the open phonetic. So for the closed syllable or closed phonetic, there's really no closing sound because it's a non-glottal sound, right? Non-glottal stop sound. So because it's a non-glottal stop sound, there's no aspirated vowel sound, no aspirated sound, and there's really no closing sound. So you just say ah, right? And that's how you pronounce number 32, which is ah. So let's go on to the next one. Now we are on our last set of the consonants, number 33. Number 33, the consonant is pronounced mla, mlam. So we're on to our last set of consonants. Now number 33 is pronounced mla, 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 mla. As you'll see here, there's an open syllable and a closed syllable, but it'll say here there's no closing sound. So we could kind of just skip on the closed syllable. For the open syllable, it's a mix of like the word ma, the number one consonant in order, and then la, right? It'll be a mix of ma and la all together. So mla, mla. So mla, right? It should sound from the lips first and then the tip of the tongue on the roof to the open mouth. You'll hear this in like the word harmless or seamless or slumlord or calmly, right? And that's how you pronounce the open phonetic. Now for the closed phonetic, like I stated earlier, there's no closing sound. So it will just, we could just skip over to that one, to the next one, okay? So number 34, the consonant is pronounced blah, blub, blah, blub. Now the opening consonant or opening syllable, it'll be just a mixture of the ba and the la together. So it'll be ba, la together really fast. Ba, la, blah, 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 right? The sound should come from the lips and then from the tip of the tongue of the roof of the mouth. You'll hear this in like the word black, but it'd be more like a P sound. Black, plaque, black, but it's not an aspirated sound either. So black, blow, blip, blubber, blind, right? Blah. And that's how you'll pronounce the open phonetic, open syllable sound. Okay. Now for the closed sound, it'll be blap, blap. Now again, it's a mixture of la and the ba, but with the ending p sound, right? And it's a breathy. It has more of a breathy ending sound, right? And it's just the same. The closed phonetic is just the same as pop, right? Pop, but with a lap, like plop or plop, right? And that's how you'll pronounce the blah closing phonetic. Blah, plop, blah, plop. So for number 35, this consonant is, I put 2 asterisks right here just to say that it's called the voiced ovular nasal sound. And this is more of a loud Thai guttural sound, right? This one is a little bit harder for English speakers that I know from my experience teaching. This one is very far. I wouldn't say very far, but it's more behind the back throat. It's like the nasalized version of the, I believe it was the nasalized version of number 24, right? So it'll be nga, 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 right? Now if you pronounce both open syllables, nga, ngag, nga, ngag. Now like I said, it's a nasal sound first, and then a throat guttural sound with the open mouth, right? And there's really no jaw movement. So it's all just pretty much guttural sound. Nga, nga. There's really no English word for this, but you'll hear in Thai or Lao this sound, which is like nga, ngai, ngo, ngo, right? So it's like a ng vowel sound, like nga, right here, right? It's kind of hard to kind of describe it, only because it's just not a native English. There's really no native English sound to this. But how you pronounce it is nga, ngang, nga, ngang. Now for the closed syllable, yeah, it's the same thing. It's a guttural throat ending sound, open, but there's no jaw movement. Like I said, there's no equivalent English sound. So you're just gonna have to memorize and remember this sound and how it's pronounced. It'll be nga, ngak, nga, ngak. Okay. Now on to our last consonant. This one is fairly straightforward, and it's an easier consonant. This one is pronounced ra, rar. You can have a trill with this as well. Ra, rar, right? So how you pronounce on the open syllable, it's more like a rounded open mouth with the tips of the sides of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Like the word red, read, ruthless, rage. I forgot to put the underline on the R. Rage, rat, ranger. And that's how you pronounce the open phonetic syllable for ra, right? Now for the closed syllable, it'll be rar, right? Rar, ra, rar. It's a rounded open mouth with sides of the tips of the tongue to the roof of the mouth, with it more towards a closing motion or closing mouth, right? You'll hear this in the word better, ranger, actor, car, tiger. And that's how you pronounce the ra, rar. Now, if you can add the trill, that'll be even, I wouldn't say better, but it'll be fun as well, because that's how you'll pronounce this rar as well. Okay? And with that being said, we have concluded all 36 Nyiakeng consonants and its phonetic sounds, both the open and the closed syllable. And so I hope this has been very helpful, very useful. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to put in the comments down below. Also, as well, if you would like to have a copy of this specific PowerPoint with the audio recordings that comes along with it, it's linked down the description below as well. And with that being said, thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and we'll see each other next time. Thank you.